Oh, some terrific news. Some absolutely terrific news. Oscar De La Hoya has come out. He has something big going on in MMA. Okay, let's start at the beginning. He said this in an interview. He has an interview. He has a fish on the hook to announce that he has something to announce. Okay, listen. Promotion is either something you get or you don't. And Oscar is a wildly successful guy. I like to come out and give Oscar a hard time. I appreciate Oscar. I remember being a little kid when he went out to Barcelona and won a gold medal in 1992 for this country. I mean, I really do. But promotion is a whole nother deal, and you can call yourself a promoter all day long. Most promoters are event organizers. That's the truth. They will organize an event and then call themselves a promoter because there's kind of a lack of another title. An event organizer doesn't sound near as cool. Promotion is something totally different, and you're either born with it. You get it or you don't. You will never go to a library and check out a book on fight promotion. There's no college in the world that you can major in fight promotion. You're born with it. There's 5 or 6 guys alive that understand it. But for Oscar, who does get the title, he's got a very big company. He sits on top of it. He gets to call himself a promoter, even if he's nothing more than an event organizer, to come out in front of the media and talk about talking and announce that he has an announcement. Okay, for goodness sake. Oh, by the way, it's in MMA. Something big is coming. And then he goes on to state that the UFC and Bellator have a monopoly on this whole thing, but there's room for more. Oscar, there actually are more. There's something called the PFL out there right now. There's something called Ryzen that comes to mind. There's something called the LFA. There's something called the FCFF. Should I continue? If you're going to jump into space and you're looking to compete in the space, you should probably know who's in the space. So when he comes out, now let's just take Oscar at his word. Now that's been a very hard thing to do as it pertains to MMA. That's a very tough thing to take him at his word. But let's go ahead and assume that he's got something working in the world of the mixed martial arts. There is a boxing match that's about to go down with one of the Paul brothers, and I don't have the foggiest idea who they... Do you guys know there's one named Logan and one named Jake? They're brothers and their last name's Paul. And then there's a rapper named KSI. And whatever Paul... I'm going to call it Logan for the sake of my story. Logan Paul versus KSI already boxed one time. They did it over in England. They sold out an arena and they did some crazy number on pay-per-view. Now, this pissed a whole bunch of people off. This was like when CM Punk came over to MMA and everybody throws their hands up and goes, he has no place here. Why is he getting an opportunity? Why is he getting all this money? It's the same exact deal. Where on one hand, they're looking at these two and going, they have no amateur record. They have not paid their dues. They don't belong in there. And alone in front of a sold-out arena for a huge paycheck on pay-per-view as the main event. Well, on one hand, you could make a fair point to your previous argument that they have not paid their dues and don't have the experience and their skills aren't there. However, if they are doing something that a sold-out arena in an incredible number on pay-per-view business wants to see them do, well done, gentlemen. You tricked the system, right? What's the difference between a great singer and a rock star? Most of you will be led to believe that a rock star is a good singer. Most of them suck. They're terrible. They couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. But they have a fan base that's willing to pay to see them. That's the difference. Anybody could have sang Blue Suede Shoes, but there's a reason that Elvis is on stage in the blue jumpsuit. One's a star. One might be talented. Where am I going with this? Well, if Oscar says he's got something coming up in MMA, and we're to take him at his word, which at this point's a little bit tough to do, but let's just play along, perhaps he has something along those lines. Don't forget, DAZN is going to carry that boxing match with the Paul brother and the rapper, KSI. Perhaps, and Oscar does some business with DAZN, perhaps he's kind of looking at that and going, there's something I can do here. If I could go get 2 people that are big enough names that could draw, even if they don't have the skills, and even if it's not quite the same thing, there is a place for this in today's entertainment world. And he would be right. I don't know that he has the sense that God gave Geese to know anything of the clues that I just handed him. Perhaps he will take this idea like he does many of mine, and I'm actually flattered by that. There's no hard feelings there. And that's what he'll run with. But there's a difference in organizing events and doing a fight promotion, okay? Use Dana by example. If Dana was to come on SportsCenter, timeout, use Oscar by example. If Oscar was to go on SportsCenter, if Oscar had a big fight to promote, by example, Alvarez and Triple G, Oscar will pop on, he will look very handsome in a nice suit, he will be very friendly, and he will read their resumes. He will tell you all of the great things and the record of Triple G, and he will tell you all the great things and the record of Canelo Alvarez. That's what he will do. He will have a conversation. He's an event organizer. If Dana White goes on SportsCenter, Dana will create conversation. Dana will not just tell you what this guy's done and what this guy's done. So what? That's called a segment. Dana will go on SportsCenter for 6 minutes. They will thank him for coming. He will exit the stage, and they will spend the next 15 minutes talking about whatever he just dropped. He would never come in an interview and talk about something to be interviewed about. He does not have conversations. That's what an event organizer does. He is a promoter. He creates a conversation. He does it every single time. I have seen him take 6 minutes of airtime that people are dying to get, lay some kind of an egg before he walks off the set, and force the next 15 minutes of airtime to be about the conversation that he's already left. That's a promoter. When somebody comes out to talk about talking or announce about announcing, something's weird. This is a concept that John Jones doesn't understand. And John Jones, in fairness, really doesn't have to. That's not John Jones's job. But for him to miss the mark so incredibly bad, time after time and week after week, and have nobody shake him and grab him, is one of these weird things. He's now coming after Israel Adesanya, and he's saying weird. He said he would make Adesanya his absolute bitch. First, I've never heard that added to it. Of course, I'm like you, and I've heard the expression, I'll make you my bitch. I've never fully got, but I've heard. Does it really change if you throw the word absolute in there? Like, do you somehow have poetic license over an expression that is old and played out and has been created by other people over 100 years? Like, do you somehow have some kind of anonymity over it? So he comes out, he says, I will make him my absolute bitch. Now, in his mind, he's promoting, because in his mind, trash talk is important. In his mind, he's seen people do trash talk, and that was a mean thing to say, and he just talked trash. He's on third base wearing a catcher's mitt. He's the champion of the world who doesn't have a goddamn opponent. Adesanya's not only got business to do tomorrow night, he's got his next match, should he win, lined up, named Paulo Acosta. Oh, and by the way, he's sitting in the front row. What does Paulo Acosta need? What does Adesanya need John Jones for? But John doesn't have the sense to see this. I'm the champion of the world. I don't even have an opponent. I'm not even going to get an opponent. As a matter of fact, Corey Anderson's got a fight with Walker. Weidman's got a fight with Ray. Somebody there is supposedly going to emerge and then take. He's a champion of the world with no opponent and still can't play his cards correctly. He would fall in the organization, the category of an event planner, not a promoter.